Hello, welcome back to Frenchie's Road Trips. You join us again for another video in the shed, and I'm in a t-shirt remarkably. It's about 11 degrees outside, although I have got the heater on in here and just to take the chill off. Quite funny in itself, but hey, you join us back today. We are going to be showing you a video or many clips, photos of how the Freelander 2 adventures began, going from what we used to have, which was a Ford Fiesta. So it was a 1.6 diesel Ford Fiesta. It was a Titanium X. It was purple, and we went exploring loads of places with this car. It was a fantastic car. Me and Ben absolutely loved the car. It was, you know, great machine. It took us all the way to the south of France. We went to Monaco, went to Nice, and the adventures we had in that car were fantastic. So I'm going to show you a couple of clips of the Monaco trip. Probably won't be so good as in the quality because they were a couple of years ago before Ben got the Freelander 2, and our hope is to do the same with the Freelander 2 and take that to the south of France or just abroad in general. So yeah, so the first clip we're going to show you, I'll bring it up on the screen. Here's one of the clips. It's actually a photo of our Ford Fiesta that we had. This is actually a campsite we found down in Monaco. As you can see there, it was really the ground was really solid. It wasn't very easy to pitch the tent up, if I'm honest, because the ground over there was really quite hard to put the pegs in. We found this campsite just by chance. I was googling campsites in France, down where we were down in Monaco, and I was really struggling. And when I found this particular place, I can't remember the name of it now because it was some time ago. In fact, actually the photo saying it was the 30th of August 2017 that we took this photo. So it was obviously the summertime, and I remember phoning this campsite, and the lady, she spoke obviously French, no word of English, and there was obviously the language barrier, but it was great because she kind of knew what I was asking and what we wanted, which was obviously we were looking for a campsite, and you know, there was two of us, there was one car, there was one tent, etc. She just kept saying we like this, and of course I didn't know what to say, so I said, okay, we will see you in 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. So we took ourselves down there, found this campsite, and yeah, it sort of went from there really. We sort of pitched up, spent a couple of nights there, and explored Monaco. So we'll go on to the next picture. So before I do that, you can't actually see it in this picture, but next to us was a young French couple, and they kindly offered their airbed pump to us, which was really good of them because we didn't have one, and we forgot it, of all things. So already we were we were having problems on that front. But so we're on to the next photo. What have I got here? Okay, so this is Monaco itself. And as you can see, so this was 11 o'clock in the morning down in Monaco. So this is the actual bay, the harbour down there. And I must admit, I think this was the first time I'd ever been abroad. I was just mesmerised by the sheer size of the boats, you know, the buildings, and just in general the way of life over there is fantastic. Yeah, so as you can see, that's a picture we took in Monaco. All the boats there, which were very, very nice. Goodness knows only how, you know, those people afford them, but there we are. What other ones have I got? This was a video we took because we actually, when we caught the train over, we took the train over to France, and we basically drove all the way from where we live in England, drove all the way down, and we had to take obviously the train underneath the water, popped out the other side in France, but we went into Switzerland. The views were just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So this was a view, and sorry about the quality, but this is the view here if I show you, this was a camera video I took at the time. So this is, you can just see us there outside the car. We stopped off for probably a rest or bite to eat or what have you. And there was this phenomenal mountain. I'm not sure what it was. I guess it's the Swiss Alps, I guess. But you see there, just the terrain was absolutely phenomenal. There's Ben. Oh yeah, so we stopped off Summit Tweed. I'm not sure what we got there. So I think looks like some bread. Not sure what that was about, but that was quite funny. So yeah, that was a short clip we took there of our first stopover in France, or Switzerland. I'd like to say Switzerland. It looks like the Swiss Alps. I can't quite remember. I didn't put a label on these videos, unfortunately. So yeah, that was one shot we took. This is another clip I took actually within the car. We actually had a major problem. Air conditioning, of all things in the car, failed. And it was, I think, 35 plus over there, 35 degrees. It was absolutely boiling. And the point where we turned on the air conditioning was when we went through this long tunnel. This clip isn't this, but it was just such a such an annoyance and a letdown of the car. Otherwise the car was brilliant in every way, bar the air conditioning. So this video was a clip we took with inside of one of the long tunnels, and some of these tunnels just went on for what seemed like miles, and it was just crazy, absolutely crazy. I mean, we'd never driven, I certainly haven't, Ben I don't think has either, never driven in a foreign country, and you know, when you're taking into account all these different things that are going on, and road signs and other people's driving, and it was all quite surreal. So you can see there that these tunnels, just as they cut through the mountains, they just go on forever. So you can see all our stuff there in the back, all our camping gear. As I said, I don't think this is the clip where the air conditioning failed, but it certainly made things interesting. But you can see there just how long these tunnels are. I mean, there's just no sign. Oh, here we go. There's like some light here. Here we go. So we're going to pop out the other side, and there we are. So we're at the other side. So you can see there the weather we had was fantastic. It was really, really good. One of the things I remember from these trips down there was the heat and the sun, which was at some points yeah, a bit unbearable, but we got used to it. So I'm not sure where this is now. I think we were, as I say, we were going through Switzerland at one point, which is where I seemed to do a lot of the recording, because I was just so taken by the amount of tunnels, the traffic, the views. Oh, it was incredible, absolutely incredible. You see now I'm waving, I'm doing something now. I'm pointing out some traffic. I'll turn the sound on. So you see the actual quality of the sound is terrible, because I think I was doing this on an old Samsung phone. And then again, look, we're in another tunnel, and this is what it is over there. It's tunnel after tunnel, and yeah, you'll just keep going into these tunnels, and you just got to keep an eye on the traffic and the road signs, and you can see there the light there starting to come through as we pop out the other side. There we go. So we popped out again. I'm not again sure where this is. I have to pause the video. If I try and go back to that roadside, let's try and have a look. Let's have a look at what that says on there. Can't quite see what it said. What does that one say there? So it looks like we might be in Switzerland or Belgium, perhaps, or because we've got a sign that says Polizzi. Lausanne, Bern, Zurich, de Le Mont. So yeah, if any of you right there can translate that there, put it in the comments. So we keep going down, and one of the things you had to watch over there was the drivers. I mean, especially more as you got down towards France, at bottom of France itself. There were loads and loads of mopeds, absolutely loads of mopeds, and they'd be going like that up and down the car. You just had to constantly always check your mirrors, because they were coming out of everywhere. It wasn't like over here where you might see a couple. It was all the time. So yeah, you've got that little trip there. Right, so another video we've got is this one. So this one is actually within the harbour itself in Monaco. So you can see there, this was actually a platform which we managed to get onto, which took us around the backs of these yachts, and some of them were huge. So you can see there we're actually walking across this platform, or whatever we're on here, and in the distance there you can see a great big cruise liner, and we were actually at one point, I think we were waving to people from their balconies on this cruise liner. So you can see there's Ben there, admiring all the yachts. There wasn't very many people around here. I don't know why. It was quite empty, but we managed to get on top here and have a look, which was really quite good, because we could see right into the back of the actual yachts. Yeah, so you can see there. Sorry about my camera and my video skills at this point. This was a couple of years ago, but yeah, you can see there how we were able to look at all the yachts in the actual yard itself. Right, let's see if I can bring it some more pictures. I took more pictures than I did videos when we went to Monaco in the Fiesta. We actually went twice. So we went to Monaco twice. So the first time we went was in the Ford Fiesta, and it was, I think it was over 1,000 miles. The amount of fuel we used was obviously quite a lot, but the Fiesta was pretty good. The miles per gallon, don't quote me on this, and I'm not going to say a miles per gallon, but it was good. It was for the Fiesta. I mean, we had all of the back completely full of camping gear, and yeah, it did really well. It did really well. Okay, so I'm going to do a little slideshow now of these pictures that we took in Monaco. So yeah, hope you enjoy them. They're just little pictures of things we saw in Monaco, in the actual harbour itself and around the town. So there's some pictures of Monaco, and yeah, what can I say? As I said, we went there twice. First time was a Ford Fiesta, second time was a hire car. There's probably more pictures and videos of the hire car than there was of the Fiesta, but this is a video of how we went from the Fiesta to the Freelander 2. So I'll keep it to the Fiesta and transition over to the Freelander 2. So where did we go from there? So we then basically our last trip abroad was in that car. We had camping. It was a fantastic car, you know, great MPG, you know, just a good all-round car just to do what we wanted it to do. Ben wanted something bigger. He wanted a Freelander 2, which I don't think I'd actually heard of. I've obviously heard of Land Rover, but I haven't heard of the Freelander 2 at that point. And Ben was saying, oh, you know, I'd quite like to look at a Freelander 2, and he showed me on the internet, and I was like, oh my god, this is like going from such a small car, the Fiesta, to the Freelander 2. I was thinking, oh my god, I was thinking about the fuel bill, maintenance costs, just the general sort of running of the thing, thinking this is gonna break us. Anyway, so he went to see this Freelander 2, and I went with him, and the first thing I remember was, as we walked into the showroom, bought it from a place just outside of Gloucestershire, I think on the Oxfordshire border, and it was the size of the car. So the you know, going from the Fiesta to the Freelander 2, oh my god, this is this is huge. This is not something I you know, but it was Ben's car, so you know, it was up to him. He said he'd always wanted a Land Rover, and this was going to be the next best thing. And the Fiesta, you know, we'd had our adventures in the Fiesta, and time, you know, it was time to change. So we wanted a new vehicle to explore in, and become part of a different type of activity, which the Fiesta ultimately wouldn't have provided. So we got the Freelander 2. So then Ben put out a message on Facebook, and asked if anybody was green laning that weekend, or whatever the post was. I'll have to find it and show you what the post was. And I think there was one reply or something, and it funny enough, it was from who we're sort of good friends with now, which is Philip Atley, and he said, oh, well, where are you from, or something, and I think Ben had put Gloucestershire or something like that. And anyway, we went off and done that. We then found, I think Ben found an advert from, or a Facebook event, whatever they're called these days. We were actually accepted into the Freelander 2 off-road group on Facebook, which is run by Joel Self. And yeah, we went to this event, and we didn't know what to expect because we hadn't been to anything like this before. We were running late, and we were the last people to turn out, which was like, oh no, we're the last ones, and everybody was all there, and we turned out, and we were a bit worried because we were looking at the others' cars, and we're thinking, oh, okay, this is a bit, because at this point I don't think Ben, there wasn't any modifications Ben had done to his car. It was all standard. It had side steps, you know, had the mud flaps. It was pretty bog standard. So here's a picture I took outside the window. This was as we come into the field, and you can see there, so there's all the Freelanders coming in, and me and Ben were just laughing in the car because we were like, people were struggling coming, well, we struggled as well coming into this field. It was a dry day, but the actual ground was sticky. It was quite gloopy and muddy, and you could see we were going to have problems. But despite that, we had a great day, and I took quite a few videos of it. So here's a video here. I'm not sure who was driving at this point or who was recording, but you can see there the weather was fantastic, but the terrain was really slippery, really slippery. But the car handled brilliantly. Really, really good. There's another one here of us sliding down. You can see there, sliding back down the hill. So we go back down. Again, car doing really well. Other photos we have from the event down in Bristol. This was at the end of the event, so you can see there all of the Freelander 2s all lined up. We were actually lucky to make it to that point because me and Ben actually went down a little track just not far from where we were parked, and we managed to get stuck, of all things. So I had to use the radio to call up and ask for some help, which the guys were brilliant. They came pretty quickly and helped us out there. So yeah, that's where our adventures then began with this car. You know, we saw this event advertised on the group on Facebook. We'd met Joel. He was the event organizer of this event, and we sort of thought to ourselves, this is something we quite like doing. This is a new type of hobby. You meet new people, you're going to explore in the countryside, and you're just enjoying life and having fun in the car. And the car is great. You know, it just does such a good job at what it does, which is, you know, bit of on-road, bit of off-road. It's fantastic. It's an all-round vehicle which does what you want it to do. So yeah, we stayed in touch with people from the group, and we sort of get involved now with different events, off-roading events that take place, and we absolutely love it. It's just something which we really enjoy, we really love, and gonna keep doing it. Modification wise, are we gonna do anything more to the car? Well, I think Ben is thinking about different tyres on it, so proper all-terrain tyres. I think he wants all-terrains or mud tyres to help a little bit for when we do go off-road, to help us out a bit more. A lift kit I think is on the cards. In fact, I know he's quite keen on a lift kit, and that's something he wants to get. Yeah, so that's where it all started. Was we went from the Ford Fiesta and went into this Freelander 2, and the types of adventures. So the city, we've gone from the highlights of Monaco to the fields of England, and it's great. It's really, really good, and we hope to do the same in France. Again, we're hoping for a trip either the end of this year or next year, to take the car down to France and go and explore the south of France again, and perhaps the middle areas of France, even perhaps a crossover to Switzerland perhaps, and see what's out there. More trips to come. So that's where it took off. We then went from that event, we then went from that event down in Bristol and got ourselves a event down in, I think it was Marlborough. So it was with Philip Attlee, and obviously the only other time we met him was down at the Bristol event. So we were sort of like turn up, and you know, wasn't sure how many people would be turning up to Phil's event. And I've actually got the original movie I put together, which I think is this one. So this was a little video I put together of our first green laning event, out and about on the Ridgeway. Never been there before, and we loved it. I thought it was fantastic. There's Philip up in the front. We had Mike and Shirley behind us, who we met on the trip as well. This is just some of the video we put together. It was a cracking day, really, really good day. There's Phil there. is our first green laning experience out in the countryside. So take away the Bristol event, this was what came after it in the car, and this was apparently on the 6th of June. I don't know how correct that is. I don't think that's quite right, but yeah, light refreshments. There we go. So it was quite a short montage, if you like to call it, of all the videos I took for the day and the pictures and things. But yeah, and that was our second green laning trip that we did with Phil and Mike and Shirley there. Yeah, so that was that one. There was one where we went to Caerphilly. Now this one we did on our own, and actually went and explored Wales. One of these ones I just found I went on Google Maps, looked at sort of the Caerphilly area and that sort of area in Wales, and thought, oh, that looks quite a good area. Then I linked it up with the Trailwise 2 app, which we had, and looked at the lanes and found some lanes around here. So this is another video we've got from Caerphilly that I put together when we went there, and you can see really nice sky, nice weather. We were very lucky that day. Some sheep out and about there. Now the fuel gauge working. So after our Bristol event, we were having problems with the fuel gauge, and it was reading, I think, just below half a tank, even though Ben had only just filled it up and basically topped it up to the max, but it was still showing half. Apparently a common problem on these cars, for whatever reason, it will misread what's in the fuel tank. So I'm not sure how it fixed itself, but it did. One day we got in it and it just started working. So this was an event we went on our own in Caerphilly and come across these lanes, which the views were just fantastic. Definitely recommend going out there if you haven't been already. There's a couple out there actually which you can explore. So it was my job to get out and do all the recording. You can see there Ben going through some mucky lanes. He absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was really good. He's coming through there. Brilliant views. So this was the first time we went to Caerphilly, yeah, the minute we got home we said we're going to come back. We're going to come back, definitely, and we did, and we went back and explored it again. I think we even went on a because that trip we only went on one lane and saw there was others, but we didn't have time unfortunately to do the other ones. So when we went back we then explored the other lanes that were around there, and yeah, this is where it's all took off. It's like now we find ourselves part of this how do you like to say it, this off-roading world, this, you know, exploring all of these lanes, and there's so much to see, there's so much countryside. You know, you can take a picnic with you can literally just, you know, take the car, as long as you stick to the rules of the off-roading and you know, make sure you look after the lanes and treat them with, you know, with the respect that they need, because ultimately that's why we've been able to do this, is because these lanes have been looked after by people and we've been able to explore them. So yeah, you know, So one last video I'm going to show you now, which is on our channel. It's the Foss Wave one, back in June last year. It was organised by Joel, and yeah, he took us on this great trip out on the Foss Wave, around Bath sort of area as well, and all these lanes. Yeah, really great day out. So I'm going to show you that video. Again, just a little thing I put together at the time, but looking back on it now, thought it was a fantastic trip. The time went so quick though. When you're doing these lanes, you're driving, what, 5-6 miles an hour, probably a bit quicker than that, 10 at most, on some of these lanes, and the time goes so fast, and before you know it, you're saying bye to everyone. Oh, there we go, so you can hear Joel there letting us know where we're going, what we're doing, keeping us in contact on the CB, which ultimately the CB we found when we did our first greening trip. We didn't have CB, we only had two-way radios, and when we met up with Phil, he had CB but he didn't have two-way radios, and we had no idea where we were going, when could we stop, and I really needed the toilet, I really needed the loo, and there was no way we could let Phil know that we needed to pull over and stop, because obviously we had Mike and Shirley behind us, and yeah, we couldn't stop, so we had to keep going. I had to just hold it in. So yeah, this video of the Foss Way there, it's quite a short video I think from memory. Cotswold Airport. Through some wooded areas. It's interesting as well when you watch these videos, and not just when you watch them, but when you're actually going through these lanes. Sorry, when you're going through these lanes, the seasons change. So like all the laning that we did in the summer and the sort of tail end of the summer last year, going into the winter and now the spring, some of these lanes have changed so much. So you see how the trees have lost their leaves and they look so different, which makes that whole laning experience a lot more interesting, a lot more enjoyable, especially when you go back again and you see it in different perspective. So yeah, there we are. Head over to Joel's YouTube channel. If you put in Joel Self Outdoor Instructor, you'll find him on YouTube. He's got absolutely loads of videos of outdoors, green laning and other things that he does, so you can see on there what Joel gets up to and other various things. I'll put a link into the video so you can click on it, and that'll take you there. There is also a link, I'm going to put a link in as well to the Freelander 2 off-road group Facebook page. We'll put that in the video as well, so you can hopefully become a member of that. We hope you enjoy this video. If you like our page, give us a like, give us a comment, press the bell icon, and yeah, we hope you enjoyed this video. We will see you again very soon.